Welcome back to Exposed. We are your co-host. I'm Meichle Latham.
I'm Dionne Kress. Welcome back. We're excited to have you here listening to us today.
Yeah, so hopefully you've had a chance to tune into a few of our other episodes, get a feel for who Dionne and I, our relationship that has brought us together today, offering Exposed, and also to get a feel for kind of the topics that we talk about as we work to have an open, comfortable space to be able to talk about the real and raw experiences that women in senior level and executive level leadership positions navigate. And we try to introduce about 10-minute conversation, different topics that are emerging. And one of the ones we've been talking about is burnout. So we'd like to talk briefly about, what some of the insights are related to our personal burnout and ways in which we manage that. So, dude, thinking about your experiences, and even maybe some of the women that you work with as part of your full time role and your executive coaching role, what are some of the insights that you would share around, what some of those contributing pieces are to burnout, but then also guidance around what to do with it.
Yeah, so when I think of burnout, I'm going to just share a personal story, right? So I certainly have achieved, we both have, right? We've known each other 30 some years, and we both have achieved high level of success in our careers at the executive level. And I have felt burnt out before. And when I think about burnout, it's like where I just want to blow my career up and be like, I'm done. I've had it. I can't sustain this anymore. Like, what am I doing? Almost like I've lost the direction of the purpose, right? Like, where am I going? Like, what's in alignment with who I am? And I've often thought, like, I'm just going to walk away from this. Like, I just don't want to do it anymore. And just through reading some different things, conversations with you, just maybe reflecting on my own life, I've decided that I just need to I'll have to pivot, right? I just need to pivot and take all of my career experience, knowledge, wisdom, and just kind of regenerate it in a different direction.
Mm,
So I guess this podcast for us and our listeners is about you don't need to burn down your career when you're like, I've had it and your hair's on fire and you're like, I can't take it anymore in this executive world. It's like, how do we use our strengths of being those high level women who use empathy and compassion and kindness in our leadership? And how do we kind of reposition that in another direction to, you had started saying like helping other people to develop into, you had said it with your supervision with social work students. Like, how do you reposition your skill set and the things that got you to
right.
where you are to help other people to learn and to grow and to mentor them rather than just saying, I'm done, I'm walking away, I've had it. So I think this is about just that truth about like, okay, I've done some great things in my career, but I don't have to walk away. I can, like I said, I can reposition what I know and share it with other people. And you're
Yeah.
doing that, I think, right now with the School of Social Work, that you're mentoring those students, right?
Yeah, yeah. And it's definitely a stage of refinement. And it's interesting. I remember talking to a woman that I was doing counseling with, and she was talking about being retired. And she used the word, no, I'm in a stage of refinement. So it's not
Mm,
like the finality, it's not over. It's rethinking how can I divert and pivot
yeah,
in ways to keep feeling that sense of integrity and contribution in a different way.
yeah,
But in a way that's also re energized because burnout, whatever it is, whether it be home improvements, maybe it's performance goals that people might have, and they invest so much and they put their heart and soul, and then it's just like I'm exhausted, and it gets confusing as to what do I do with that. um
sorry, that's my dog. She's in the room here with me, Rosie. She's back.
well, she's not burned out. Do you have, especially like with your coaching, like, can you think of a time where you were working with a woman? I think about the one woman in I think it was Cattaraugus County, that you worked very closely with, who may have been at those stages and like the awakening or the aha moments that you may have seen, and then the ability to see how she may have been able to incorporate some of that into thriving even more, like getting to a place of taking a pivot in a way that now the impact is more expanded, or she has more energy to have that greater impact.
Ask me the beginning part of the question again. I'm sorry. So with the woman I was working with, if she's been able to kind of pivot and use her skill sets in a new way.
Yeah, like yeah, and if you can recall like an awakening for her or an enlightenment that you were just like, oh, I'm so excited for her, she's taking
Yeah,
this other path.
so I don't I can reference that. I can connect that question to someone else, not the woman you're referring to in terms of
Okay.
but another client I had where she was actually in the woman that I'm going to refer to is in an HR role. And I think she was feeling some sense of burnout new to the HR role and couldn't get momentum moving forward until she kind of one of the things I think that burns us out as women is we put ourselves in these helper roles. We got to be perfect, right? We've got to do all things for all people. We got to lift people up. We have to support them. And I think once she and I talked about, how do you take less accountability for the success of other people and coach them into success rather than trying to almost
Mm,
like push them into success, but help them learn their own insights so that they
yeah,
can be successful, right? Because she was really at the point where she was like, I can't do this, right? And I was like, well, no, you can do this, but you're working harder than the people that you're trying to support in your HR role. So I think sometimes that's a self-reflective moment about him.
yeah,
You and I have had these conversations when we were therapists together. Are we working harder than the client? So you
right.
will always feel a sense of burnout when you're working harder than your clients are. And I think in a coaching role, you can feel that as well. I know that I certainly have. Like if
Yeah.
I'm just feeling exhausted, I'm like, okay, I'm doing way more of the work than this person because you want to be the cheerleader and you're like, come
Right.
on, you can do this. And you keep trying and trying. And they don't want it for themselves. They haven't had the aha moment yet.
Yeah.
I know I have certainly been there and you and I have had conversations like that in the past, right?
Yep.
So to answer your question, I would say yes, she did have that moment. She pulled back. She took more of a coaching role where you're supporting and helping people. She was helping her people to develop their own insights, which caused her to reflect, right? It was like a win-win because she was reflecting on, okay, what am I doing too much of that's, causing me to just run out of energy.
Yeah. And I think, not to go down like a completely different tangent here, but I think, especially for women in spaces where traditionally may have been male roles, where there's a sense of pride of having achieved a particular role or title and
Mhm.
feeling this sense of, I need to prove myself. And
Yeah.
so, to your point around the confidence, sometimes those metrics or that drive is un is undue. Like we shouldn't have to prove ourselves.
Yeah.
We've been appointed these positions because we have what it takes, and it's sometimes it's our own expectations or concerns that drive us to overinvest as a way to prove ourselves, and then we get burned out. And especially if we're still not like in that situation, still not seeing the success of all the efforts that I'm doing, then it be turns into self-doubt and questioning, can I really do this? Am I really the best person for this?
Yeah. Well, I think that's where our strength becomes a weakness, right? Like all of a sudden, what we've done and we've achieved, now it's like, okay, how do I sustain this? But then it's where we have to step
Right.
into our power and say, you know what? I have got this. Like, let go of the self doubt. I'm here for a reason. I didn't just stumble and trip into this position and step into your own power. And I think that is our message today. Don't
Yeah.
blow up your career and be like, throw up your hands and walk away because you feel like it's not sustainable, but instead pull back, reflect, and say, okay, sister, it's time for me to step into my power and do what I
Yeah.
know how to do with complete and utter confidence and
Yeah.
wisdom and knowledge and just experience, and not worry about being the people pleaser, being the perfectionist. Like, you're already doing it, right? We're
Right.
already doing it, but we just keep trying so hard to get there. We
Yeah.
forget that we've already arrived. I know that I have certainly had that experience where I'm like, what am I doing? I keep trying and trying and trying, and I'm already there. I'm on the top of the mountain, right? I've
Right.
achieved what I've wanted to achieve in my life. And so now it's about stepping into your power. And I'm having like a reflective moment about my experience last week, right? I had
Mm-hmm.
that executive leadership retreat and I was
Yeah.
all nervous about it. But I finally, at the end, after going round and round and round, and you heard me like freaking out, my hair was on fire. And I just said, F it. I'm just going to do what I know how to do, follow my
Right.
gut, follow my intuition, and not try and tailor it to what I think it should be, but to what I know it should be. And it worked
Right.
out perfectly fine. And
Right.
it actually over exceeded expectations, and I got great feedback. So I think the message here today is, in this being a raw leader, it's about stepping into your power and saying, shit, I already know this. I already know what I'm doing.
Right.
So don't burn down the house, right? Just step back and say, all right, I've got this.
Yeah.
So,
And also remember that people are watching us, and we get to be these silent mentors
yes.
by acting with such confidence and unpolished and imperfect.
Mhm.
Because I think that gives more permission to the women that we are mentoring to be like, okay, if
Yeah.
this person who I aspire to be or I admire so much feels so confident in themselves to be vulnerable and open and honest, it's so permitting for them to let their guard down, to not have to have everything perfect, figured out, and lead with heart and confidence.
Yeah.
I got this.
Well, it's the I'm perfectly imperfect, right? Like, I heard that somewhere along the way. Like, we don't have to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. Like,
Right.
just the imperfections of who we are is what makes us all so beautiful and unique, and all the
Yeah.
beauty that comes with being a woman in leadership. So, well,
And I'll
hopefully,
just say
oh,
that when we can transfer that energy, the energy that it takes to convey this image that we think people need to see of us, and we let go of that and we invest in the heart of why we do what we do, and the leading with compassion and empathy, we thrive so much more than
mhm.
trying to fulfill this expectation that we've created for ourselves or that we think other people have of us. Sorry to
Agreed.
interrupt you.
Yeah, no, no. I was just going to say we're at our time today, so I'm
Yeah,
hoping that our message landed well for other women, and that what we're sharing is helpful and intuitive, and helps other women to just step into their power.
yeah.
So,
Power
so
pivots.
there we go. Power pivots. Well, Michelle, it's always a joy having our conversations together, and
Yes.
hopefully women enjoy it just as much as, listening to it as much as we enjoy putting it together. So, until the next time, see you.
Stay tuned.
Bye.
Bye.